Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Greg is here. Burning a little Palo Santo to get this message started, clearing the air. I hope that you're having a beautiful day of life, a moment of life. What is going on in your life? How have you been? I can tell you in my life, man, I've had so many incredible spiritual breakthroughs recently. There's a lot of powerful energy that's moving through this planet, and then you're probably feeling it. And some of us are like super open and like excited for the energy that's pouring through, and some of us are shutting down, breaking down because of the powerful energy that's truly meant to transcend us. It's meant to like catch up in a spiral so that you can ascend, as I just saw 1111 pop up on the timer. And yet it's really interesting, depending on when you watch this. We went through a time change in many places. And it's so easy, right? The times, especially like on our devices, the time changes naturally. Some of our cars and microwaves and ovens and coffee makers, we got to manually change the time. But the number one thing that people need to learn and to embrace changing is your mind. So important in this day and age, right here, right now. When you are hearing my voice right now, the number one thing that you could truly give yourself is the ability and permission to change your mind. Well, you're probably asking, well, change my mind about what? Are you ready for it? Everything, everything, everything. Everything that you think you believe, you should challenge every one of your beliefs. Deeply held beliefs, long lasting beliefs, new beliefs, lightly held beliefs, spiritual beliefs, political beliefs, economic beliefs, relationship beliefs, life and death beliefs. You should allow yourself to go on like the most deep diving exploration of beliefs, of your true beliefs. This is how you change. This is the true essence of healing and transformation, expansion into becoming what? The best version of yourself. The best possible version of yourself is not to cling to things that were oftentimes programmed into you from what? Other people. This is literally a process that I went through. It's a process that I continue to go through. That's why I know most people that are starting to tune in to this type of content. Well, what kind of content is this? This is healing journey content. This is spiritual awakening content, right? It's not religious content. That's not what we're doing here. We're not doing religious, but we're talking about energy clearing. We're talking about healing emotional wounds, right? Sexual wounds, childhood wounds. We're talking about reprogramming our negative thoughts and beliefs. We're talking about becoming the best versions of ourselves. No excuses, right? That's what's going on here. And the only way that that's going to happen through the experience that I had was, guess what? I had a lot of deep seated, long held, like death grip beliefs that I look back on and I'm like, okay. Right. And it was all just what? It was a lot of times the beliefs that we have are beliefs that are projected on us through other people, especially when we're little kids, right? We're told what to do and people tell us what we're supposed to do and our traditions and our beliefs. And a lot of times we never really come out of that blurriness to get the clarity to truly challenge your beliefs. Because the thing is if there's nothing to worry about a belief, then you could challenge it every fucking day, every single way, and it will stand true. But if you're afraid to even challenge your own beliefs by having what I would call a fresh perspective, fresh perspectives. Well, how do you get that? You got to start doing some new things. You got to start seeing yourself in some new places. You got to stop disconnecting. If you're only aligned with one way of thinking, and probably the most that I think about is like politically, if you're politically aligned with one thing so hard line, it's like that's to even be a political, to even waste any energy on politics in 2025 right now, as we're going through a transformation on this planet that transcends politics. The fact that if you waste any of your time worrying or frustrated or angry or overwhelmed or desperate about politics, and you ain't the politician, you are wasting your time, you are wasting your energy, and you are giving away what you need to be giving to yourself. But yet you want to do the least and somehow feel like you're doing the most, and that doesn't work. You really need to go all in on yourself, not these other things, not external things. I used to care so much about politics. I ran for politics. If you all of you that don't know me, I ran for political office not once but twice here locally at the city council level. I learned a lot of bullshit about what happens in politics. And if you're an adult and if at any level you think there's some corruption, you think that there's some questionality to it, that it's maybe rigged, that it's really not serving the best interest of humanity, and yet you keep playing the game and you keep getting sucked in to the narratives that totally get you outside of your own body and get you so overwhelmed and stressed and angry, you're being manipulated. And guess what? That system loves people that are easily manipulated. And you may be very intelligent. You may have a wall full of credentials and degrees and all this stuff. And guess what? I got all that too. I got all that too. And I've also even tried the system. I've understood the system by trying to put my name out there. And I understood that because I was such a threat, because I spoke truth, I'm speaking truth still to this day. And I've been a threat to political systems. I've been a threat to religious types. I've been a threat to anybody that is trying to manipulate and deceive the hearts and minds of people. And there's a pretty good chance that you are holding on to some beliefs, whether conscientiously or subconsciously, that are holding you back from doing what? Becoming the best version of yourself. Well, why does becoming the best version of yourself matter? Some of y'all are like, I'm good, man. Like, I know this is as good as it gets. Like, I'm settling. I'm good. Well, then if that's it, then you don't even need to waste 5 seconds listening to me. I ain't got nothing but sending you love, joy, peace, and light. If you're somebody that's like, I'm good, this is as good as it gets. Amen, brother. Amen, sister. Carry the fuck on. Keep being good. But if you're someone that's actually hearing this message and you're searching for something more because you're realizing that, the politics isn't getting you where you want to be. It's not giving you more what? Inner peace, inner clarity, more real love, joy, peace, right? You could literally be filled with love, joy, and peace in the midst of a famine, in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of a third world country that's being decimated by bombs. But see, so many of you You don't even have inner peace. And yet you have all the opportunity to do this. To do what? Right here. Change your mind, which will ultimately change your life. But in order to do that, you have to have the courage to say, to let go of everything that you think you believe, to challenge everything you think you believe. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to say, I can tell you right now, you're wrong if you are hyper politicized in either direction. You're wrong. Your life is being wasted right now. And if that hurts to hear or that makes you uncomfortable, good. Good. That's how you know I care about you. That's how you know this is true love coming from me, is because I'm willing to say both. If you are hyper politicized, you're wasting your life. If you're hyper fanatic, right? Sports, right? You're hyper sports. My team for life. This, yay, can't miss nothing. Need all of the sports. Need all of this. You're wasting your life. You're giving away your most precious resource, is your time and your attention. Celebrating someone else's achievements, getting mad at someone else's failures, acting as if it's your own. This goes to show you that if you can be emotionally manipulated, think about it. This is the power of the mind. You need to change your mind. If you are emotionally swayed, happy, sad, angry, rageful, I hate these people, I hate them, or yay, I love them. If you're emotionally swayed by the politics, by the social issues, then you have no idea as to who you are, because you have literally attached your identity to something that's not you. You are not the politics. You are not the team. You are not the social issue. You are a eternal soul of love, joy, peace, and light. Eternal. You are free of pain. You are free of suffering. You are free of victimization. You are free of sexual trauma, emotional trauma, childhood trauma. You're free of all that at the soul level. But when you are so caught up in the density of your body and the negativity of your mind, then you are easily manipulated. Easily manipulated. And I say this with such clarity because guess what? I used to be that person. I'm not that no more. No, I will never allow myself to be manipulated by anything outside of myself. And that sounds like, I mean, most people logically, you say, I'm not manipulated by stuff outside. Of course you are. Of course you are. Some of y'all get manipulated by the weather as if you have control over the weather. Oh, it's windy. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's too hot. If you have an emotional reaction to anything outside of yourself, right, then you don't even know who you are. And it's time for you to start to change your mind. Well, how do you do that? You have to start questioning everything. That's why the process that I offer in the Results Kill Excuses app, it literally starts with self-abandonment, self-destruct, self-sabotage, self-medicate, right? All the negative things that we do. When you're sick, when you're finally at that breaking point where you're like, I can't do this no more. My breaking point was 13 years ago, hitting rock bottom, saying enough. I can't do this, man. No more drunk motherfucker. It's time to get sober. It's time to, as I see 444, it's time for me to figure out what the fuck's going on with me. Why am I willing to abuse myself, harm myself, thus harming others right? Like in a reckless abandonment type of way. Why am I willing to do that? Is there something that wrong with me that I can't seem to have inner peace, to truly be satisfied, to be thankful for things? Like, why am I causing myself this much harm? And it took hitting that rock bottom to wake me the fuck up. And I really hope and pray that it does not take you hitting a rock bottom, but for most of you, it will. Some of you, you're so ingrained with false beliefs, deeply held beliefs that keep you afraid. That's a big indicator of how easily manipulated you are, is if the things you believe are things that trigger your fears versus things that activate the courage, the bravery, the boldness inside of you. This right here should be activating that you're good enough, you're courageous enough, you can do it. I did it, so can you. Not the fears. If something is triggering your fears, your insecurities, your pain, that's manipulating you. That's the biggest red flag, man. It's the biggest red flag. It took me hitting that rock bottom. And I'm grateful that along my journey that I didn't give up. Because had I given up, I won't be sitting here right now, and I won't be speaking the truth, speaking life into others, trying to inspire change in people. And the change is actually so simple, but it's not easy. Because in order to change your mind, that means you need to like literally break up and disconnect from things that are magnifying your fear, your doubt, your guilt, your shame, your anger, your sadness, your grief, your apathy, your pride. These are all the low vibrational frequencies. Anything that is triggering that needs to be disconnected. It needs to be put on time out so that you can truly find the courage and the strength to look in the mirror. And yet that seems to be one of the scariest things for people to do. To allow themselves to get so quiet, so peaceful, no distractions, and just look in the mirror. Which, when I say looking in the mirror, that's an analogy for looking within, looking what's really going on inside of you. What are your fears really about? Is it really about who's the politician right now, or who's the billionaire right now, or who's not the politician right now, or who's who's winning right now? What is your real fears about? And the answer to that I have found time and time again, working with many, many, many people, myself included, the thing that I continue to find is that the root cause of all of our beliefs that are not serving us is usually our childhood, 0 to 10. Other things happen in the teenage years that continue to perpetuate. But usually the root is 0 to 10. I can tell you, I say this all the time, my own story is that I experienced so much trauma, so much physical abuse, like third-party witnessing. I wasn't really flung around and thrown all over the place, but my mom was definitely beat the fuck out of, right? By my father. And this shit was going on while she was pregnant. This shit was going on in those earliest years of life. Clearly, that planted a lot of traumatic, terror, unsafe feelings in my heart, in my mind, and in my soul. To where as my life continued to unfold, I disconnected from the fear that I was carrying around, that being scared, unsafe, because of what I witnessed and experienced energetically, that I invented myself into being a powerful being, but I used that force, that presence, that masculine presence, that dominating presence to protect that wounded child inside of me. So anytime the child had a reminiscence throughout life as an adult that something was scary, even abandonment, right? The adult would come in, the protector, with good intentions, but the wrong methodology of interpersonal conflict resolution, and would make situations worse more times than not. All in an effort with sincerity and really love for self to keep the little guy safe, to never let whatever happen again. But in doing that, subconsciously, I'm running a program that is causing others pain that don't need to be the recipients of my pain. And yet, throughout my life, I found alcohol really early on, 15 years old. Well, earlier than that. I mean, I probably got drunk the first time when I was about 12, sixth grade. Sixth grade. And there was something about it that, that first buzz, it shifted a part of me that I didn't realize, right? There's so much disconnect in our bodies. Like, if, again, the more externalized you are, the more emotionally manipulated you are. And this takes a lot of courage and honesty for you to then what? Change your mind. Can you even just change your mind to be honest with yourself that you are very emotionally manipulated by things outside of yourself? And then you ask yourself, where does this come from? What are you really afraid about because somebody's the politician now and not the other person? What are you really afraid about? What is it really about? Is it really about that, or is there something way deeper going on? And the crazy thing is what if the deeper that's going on with you is someone else's fear that got spoken into you, a seed of someone else, meaning usually you're a little kid and someone else has some insecurities, an authoritarian figure in your life. Maybe it was mom, maybe it was dad, maybe it was teachers, maybe it was close family members. And that person planted their insecurity in your mind, in your heart. And guess what? You're still carrying that shit. It's a fucking full grown plant. It's a tree inside of your soul. And it wasn't even yours. It was someone else's. But yet you're triggered in the now based on someone else's fear of the past. And that's why I'm saying you got to be willing to change your mind. And the only way you're going to do that is by letting go, challenging your beliefs. If you don't have any fear about what you believe and finding out that, it's a scary thought. It's a really scary thought as an adult for you to look in the mirror and say, what if everything I believe, what if most of the things that I believe, whether conscientiously or subconsciously, is a lie? What if I have false beliefs that I need to overcome in order to truly become the best version of myself, in order to truly set myself free? Because I don't need to be living in this state of fear because of something outside of myself. What if the reason why I'm always trying to play it safe is because someone else was afraid and they projected all that fear into me when I was a kid? Because maybe they even saw the light inside of me. Maybe they even saw some strength inside of me, and that made them intimidated. Again, energetically, it's so interesting how these encounters happen to us throughout this incarnation, we'll call it. Because I do believe in reincarnation. I believe that these bodies are so disposable. They're more disposable than fucking Walmart, than big box store, anything you buy nowadays. Everything is so disposable, and these bodies are they're exactly the same. They're not built to last. Our bodies are not built to last. And yet, but some of you don't make it any better, which is an indicator, which is a major indicator that your beliefs, things that you say you believe, but things that you don't really hold with conviction, are bullshit. And this is where it gets hard. This is where the results kill excuses. You know, we drop in truth bombs today. I can tell you that 50% of adult men are overweight right now. One in three adults are overweight in total. Total, one in three. That's crazy. And yet, where do you think all that eating disorder comes from? It comes from your unhealed emotional wounds, right? If you say you value health, if you say you value relationships, if you say that you value um, freedom, if you say you value finances, right? If any of those things are important to you, and a lot of people will be like, money doesn't really matter, but money touches every aspect of your life. As I see 12-12 right now. But here's the truth, that if you have problems with health, if you have any problems with relationships, if you have any problems with money, if you have any problems with truly feeling a sense of inner peace and being free, I guarantee you the answer to your problems isn't being more religious. It's healing your emotional wounds. And the emotional wounds I'm talking about is 0 to 10 years old, going in that time machine and truly unpacking that, which the process of doing that is a spiritual practice, not a religious practice. It's spiritual. It's energetic healing, not spirit, not religious. Because I've said all the prayers. I've been dunked in the water. I dunk myself in the water still all the time. And I never came out a new version of me. The subconscious programs, the emotional wounds didn't just wash clean. This shit is so deep, dark inside of our soul that saying whatever you want to say times 1,000 times does not change what's going on there until you literally start doing this with precision, intention, and consistency. There's no magic trick that's going to change your life. But there is what I'm considering a demystifying of the mystery to it all. And the mystery is what? Life in general. What's really going on? Is it really about just kind of getting by, getting a job, buying a house, starting a family, having a kids, getting a new car, getting a promotion, seeing your team win the big game, seeing your favorite politician win the big election? And then next thing you know, you've lived a full life, you saw your kids graduate, and then you die. And then what? That's the deal. That's the drill. That's it. That's what it's about. Maybe for some of you, that sounds like a dream, right? You're like, shit, this guy, that's a dream life. Clearly, in that example, what was left out is all the hardships, is all the struggle, is all the challenges, is all the tough days, the tough nights, the tough weeks, the tough months, right? Those lessons of life that literally could practically take us out. could knock us the fuck out. And then who are we? Because I know when I hit rock bottom, I was so broken, so broken. And I knew I wasn't looking for a quick fix. I knew when I hit my rock bottom 13 years ago, I literally knew. I was like, I am done. I am not looking for a quick fix. I am looking for a transformation. A transformation. What does that mean? What does transformation mean to you? We hear it a lot nowadays, you know? Transform your life. What does it mean to transform your life? For me, I knew it was to literally change my entire life. And it's crazy. There was like a memory that popped up today from 7 years ago. And I love that guy. And that guy, I'm talking about me. But damn, um, I hardly recognize the guy. And the funny thing is that a lot of times I'll run into people that remember that guy because this guy's been kind of off the grid. He's been working in the wilderness on himself, disconnected for real, to truly bring about the transformation. And I hardly recognize that guy. I'm like, damn, that was me. I was listening to him. Look, here's a video. Look at that guy. That guy and this guy. 7 years, man. 7 years. And he sounds good. He's talking about he had just run for political office, Greg. He had just ran for political office. But that's transformation. And it's not even just physical transformation, even though it shows up like that. That's not even just long hair and losing weight. I mean, it's a total inside job of transformation right there. That's me right there. But look, getting on the video, man, the way that I was talking, but that's real transformation. It wasn't a struggle. That was a beautiful part of who I was because I had the soul. I had that heart, man, to make a difference. And I was running that was a video coming off of my first loss in politics. And I was listening to the perspective. That's what's cool about that video. I'm up on a mountain and I'm talking about perspective. Like when it comes to politics, when it comes to things in life, perspective's everything. Like if you're so stuck in an urban environment and in your city, like you're judging everything, right? You're judging everything. But when you get some perspective, right, which is what he's talking about, he's saying, looking back on the town, I can't see who the winners were, who the losers were, who has power. I don't know the difference between who has a nice car, who has a shitty car, who has a nice house. What I see is a community, a collective of people choosing to live amongst each other. And there should be unity in that. As I see 3333 pop up. And again, that message was really a message of hope. I'm maybe even tempted to post it on here so y'all can just see that this ain't new. This was 7 years ago. And I'm proud of what that guy was talking about. Very articulate. I was like, damn, man, you were on it, bro. Commending people and, commending the winners. I was very hopeful and optimistic 7 years ago about what the new leadership that did get elected would do. And I don't think they really fulfilled that because they started playing politics. And I was an anti-political politician, right? Running for office, but speaking truth to power, being called the rabble rouser. I mean, I got assassinated publicly. Humiliated for the misdeeds of my past, my DWIs, my domestic violence arrest. I mean, they used everything they could to assassinate me and annihilate me because of why? Because I didn't change. Like I ran for politics fucking 7 and if not even 28 years of transformation from these old deeds of the past. But the power system will look for any little tiny little fucking skeleton in your closet that they can expose to destroy you. And if not to destroy you, they'll use it against you, saying, if you don't do what we want, we'll use this against you. And that's what I learned. The system was all about compromise. And when I see people that are just like me, just like you, getting all emotionally distraught about political issues, it's like, oh man, you guys don't even get it. You're totally lost. You have no control over what's going to go down. And yet you're still safe. You still have the same opportunity each and every day to be the best version of you. And the best version of you isn't adding to the noise of politics or sports and entertainment. It's adding to the song. That's noise. There's a difference between noise and a melody. I'm singing a melody right now. This is a song that's reverberating around the world because this song is trying to activate your spiritual awakening, activate you to truly change your mind about the things you think matter that aren't giving you nothing in return except for what? Magnifying your fears, your insecurities, your worries, your doubts, and all of that shit is going to lead to what? Deteriorated health. Number one killer, heart disease. Number two killer, cancer. You don't think that either of those, the amount of stress you're carrying around about shit that you have no control over, isn't going to impact your health in the long run? Are you kidding me? Like, where did we... It's by design that we're supposed to be distracted and lost and literally emotionally manipulated. And we need to elevate our conscientiousness. Love, joy, peace, and light. And the way you do that is by healing yourself. This is the whole purpose of this experience called life. The whole experience is for you to have experienced really traumatic things. Everyone had a different experience that they have to deal with that is a perfectly designed for your soul and its evolution. And yet you have to get to a place of awakening that you're able to really disconnect from the government issued IDs, from the birth certificate, from the political affiliation to all the other issues that you want to say are you, and they're not. None of it is you. When you die, you don't take your political affiliation. When you die, you don't take any trophies with you that you won or someone else won. It's so irrelevant. The true essence of your experience here on this planet is to awaken your soul, to truly release all that pain. It's not to like double, triple, quadruple down on it. And it's definitely not allowing the fear to trigger you to a point that you start to activate. Are you ready? Hatred in your heart for other people, regardless of what you think they're doing or what you know they're doing. You're never justified to have hatred in your heart. Hatred, are you kidding me? There's a lot of hatred being stimulated right now, and it is serving a great purpose. And that purpose is not to elevate this planet. It is not to bring you closer to your true divine alignment with your soul. It is manipulating you to keep this world as a negative world, as a world that is being controlled and manipulated by dark energy. That doesn't mean evil. It's just a manipulate. It's like a parasite. And it's so sad to see so many good, beautiful people, which we all are in our heart of hearts, in our souls, be so manipulated. And yet I do believe that a great awakening is amongst us. And it's things that you can't even control. Maybe you don't even hear me talk about like the Schumann resonance. I mean, you see these solar flares and yet we're energetic bodies. like you are being moved by energetic forces beyond just this planet, beyond just your mind, beyond your political party, beyond your favorite team. And it's stirring up something inside of you that is so ready to be released. And I've experienced it, right? You talk about transformation, man. That's it right there. That's it right there, man. That's it right there, man. It doesn't get more transformational than that. Total transformation. I run into people. I've even run into family members. I went to a family member thing, right? There's transformation. Look at that guy. That's 7 years ago. Still got the mustache. That's probably the only thing you'd recognize about that guy, right? He was probably about 60 pounds heavier, got a mustache, didn't have the hair, didn't have the locks, right? But that was just one dimensional. In that phase, I was in this version of me. Again, I talk about the total alignment, right? You want total health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. You know what this guy had more of? He was more spiritually healthy, and he was starting to figure out the mental. He hadn't fully aligned with the physical, which was the nutrition and the health, and he hadn't gotten grasp of the emotional. That's who this guy was, going to bat for his community. That's who that dude was. Look, he's happy. Look at that big smile. That's a happy guy. He's happy. He was spiritual. This guy was super spiritual. But look, he was definitely not physical. The physical health wasn't there. And I promise you, the emotional health wasn't there. Because when I started getting attacked politically about my DWIs and all this stuff, man, I was so insecure about that. It fucked me up. And that's how I know. But I was spiritual. I was super spiritual back then. And I was starting to clear the mind because I was also sober, right? If this was 7 years ago, I was 6 years sober at that time, right? So the mind was clearing. The mind was healing. But the emotional piece, I hadn't gotten there yet. And the physical piece, I hadn't gotten there yet. Yeah, man, total transformation. This is me 7 years ago. I was talking about running for political office. I ran for city council twice. And this was the video after So what triggered your physical and emotional? It's not that something triggered it. It was understanding that it was a process. This is a process, and that's the beautiful thing, right? That's why I keep getting on here, is because I've literally figured out a way to condense 13 years of just exploratory, trying to figure this out. I told you, when I hit my rock bottom 13 years ago, I knew I'm done drinking, man. Not for a season, not for Lent, not for religious reasons, right? That's how you know it's bullshit religion, because you can give something up for a season, not for a lifetime. So all you that are doing that, you're bullshitters. And I know that shit it's not popular, whatever. But here's the thing. When I hit the rock bottom 13 years ago, I knew I had to go through a transformation. Fast forward through those 13 years, it was trial and error, just like anything in life. It was trial and error. I had a will and an energy and a spirit about me that I was willing to try anything. Why? Because I had changed my mind. I had changed my mind that I knew it all, that I had it figured out. There is so much mystery to this life. If you think Jesus alone changes your life, Jesus is not a maid. He is not going to go down there and clean up your mess. You got to clean your mess. Jesus isn't going to tell you, don't eat all that fucking donuts and bullshit at the church, right? He's not going to do that for you. You got to have the ability to do that. You got to realize that this body is a sacred temple. And you eating donuts and being overweight is in no way giving glory to the body and to the creator. And yet that breaks people. Because why? Why does that break religious people? Because they're insecure. Why would they be insecure? Because they have emotional wounds that they never addressed. They got pulled into the religious, which is a quick fix, but not the full fix. There's still codependency there. You got to keep showing up, keep doing, keep coming in, keep paying your dues, keep showing up, keep praying the same prayers. And eventually, yeah, you'll get to heaven. But the life never changes. The true transformation from the inside out doesn't take place. There's the fucking proof. I can guarantee you 7 years ago, I was hanging out with a lot of dudes that were super religious. Guess what? They're all probably in the same boat, if not worse. Well, what did I do that they didn't do? And it's because I went on a true transformational journey to get what? What did I want more than anything else? I wanted to be able to trust myself. So I knew I needed to get sober. I knew there was a spiritual aspect to this because when I hit rock bottom, I definitely cried out to God. I'm like, God, take me out or fucking help me up and show me the way. And along that journey, I tried everything without bias. I didn't just buy into one thing and say, this is it. Everyone else is wrong. Everything else is wrong. I always kept, an open mind, an open heart to say, I need to measure things by, am I getting the result that allows me to trust myself? And I had a long window in there, a total devotional, faithful, sacrificial, servant heart window in there where I did find Christianity. Servant. I mean, I was preaching the dang word. I was preaching the word, man. And yet I was still arguing and fighting with my wife on the way to church and getting out and putting the rubber smile on. How you doing, brother? I'm doing good. Amen, brother. Amen to you, man. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. It was another act. It was another mask to put on. And I would make a lot of men that were there and women uncomfortable because I would pull the mask off and I would talk about all the things I was feeling and experiencing, and that would make people feel uncomfortable. Come on, bro, that's a little too much TMI, but it's like, dude, I thought we're here to like clear our sins and get out all the shit that we're thinking and doing and wanting to overcome. And what I now realize is that the reason why I was still fighting with my wife and struggling with addiction underneath the surface, right, of all kinds, food addiction, porn addiction, right, THC addictions, negative thinking addictions, entertainment and sports addictions. The reason why I was still suffering with that is because I hadn't healed my emotional wounds. And this is really tough talk. This takes real courage. And this is a gift that I have. So I'm offering this up right now. If you're somebody that is searching or needing some help along this journey, you should reach out to me to do one-on-one coaching. I absolutely know that throughout this journey, I've realized that my gift, as I see 1, 2, 3, 4 here in Mountain West Standard Time, that's like a let's go. We're going in the right direction. Because I am truly here to help people heal once and for all, real healing. And so it's like, it's not going to take you 13 years because I've condensed this. I've been able to condense down some very, very focused practices that can get you over the hump, that can truly activate, but it still takes time. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to do something one time and yay, you're fucking saved. Right? So if you're somebody that's looking for one-on-one coaching, reach out. Greg at results. I'm going to put this in the bottom there. Greg at resultskillexcuses.com. Right? Because here's the thing is it's really hard to do this on your own. It's really hard to do it on your own. But it requires that. I'll make that clear. The journey requires your undivided investment, meaning you got to go all in on yourself. You don't have to do it alone, though. You could hire somebody like me. And so if this is something you're interested in, I've actually shifted. For those of you who've been listening, my opportunity to meet with me one-on-one free, that's done. There's no more of that. What I'm now offering, and it's now in the Results Kill Excuses store, is, let me share this, is I'm now doing, you get a 2-hour coaching session. You get a copy of the first 5 workbook, right? This is a $55 value. You get the 4-color pen and a sticker and a coaching session with me, right? I'm not doing the freeze no more. So if you've thought about getting some coaching, getting some guidance, and you're ready to make that investment with yourself, it's still the best time to do it. But it takes you wanting to do it. You have to be wanting to do this. This has to be something that you are so on fire for that what else is more important? It's so sad that you think that it doesn't cost you anything to watch 4 hours of sports today, 4 hours of sports yesterday, 4 hours of sports the other night, 3 hours, 4 hours of your favorite show this past week, 10 hours of your favorite show this week, 20 hours of music the past week. You don't think that costs you anything, right? And it's fucking costing you everything. Because that's your most precious resource, your time. And you're investing your time in something that's not giving you anything in return. And we need to stop that shit. But to each their own. All I can do from this point forward is to continue to put this out there, knowing that it's going to reach the people that it needs to reach. So all of you that are here right now and tuned into this, you're tapped in, you're tuned in, you're ready. It is your time. You should, in 7 years from now, be able to see a video of yourself, which you should make a video of yourself right now, a video blog, and you should be able to see a total different version of yourself, not just externally, when you listen to yourself. When you're even encountering other people, they should be like, wait, are you? Nah, that's not you. Really? And it's not that they don't recognize the person, it's the energy. The energy. You show up as a whole nother version when you heal your energy, when you release the negativity, when you set free your sexual, emotional, and childhood trauma, when you finally once and for all let this go. Which, yes, there's other people that cause that to you. And I continue to go through this spiral with you guys because this is one of the hardest areas for people to wrap their minds around, their souls around, their spirits around, is someone hurt you. And you continue to hurt yourself as a result. Something happened to you when you're a little kid. Maybe you were sexually abused. Maybe you were physically abused. Maybe you were verbally abused. Maybe it was all of the above. Maybe you were neglected. Maybe just that energy that you were a burden, that you coming into this world changed someone else's life, meaning your mom or dad, so much that you felt that energy. This is energy. Some people, they didn't even need to say this to you. You just know. You know when someone's angry at you. You know when someone's upset with you. You're like, oh shit, I'm going to go the other way. This person's not happy. You don't think you were so much more tuned into that as a kid that when you were like taking care of you was like a fucking hassle. Did anybody feel like that? When you really think back at your childhood, that like, and maybe even a parent even said this, oh man, you coming in like changed my life so bad, and not necessarily for the good. Not that they didn't love you, but that you just from their perspective, like you were a game changer in their life that caused a lot of uncertainty and who knows. And yet we don't even realize why we're going through what we're going through as adults, but it's all tied into here. I fucking guarantee it, man. It's all tied in there. And that's why when you say the magic tricks, right? That's when you say those prayers. Let's all say a prayer, you guys. Here, I'll lead us in a prayer. I'm really good at praying. I used to get compliment all the time. Hey, none of your lives are going to change. You're going to still have the emotional scars and the emotional wounds and the programs that are attached to those emotional wounds until we go in there and deal with it. It's literally what has to happen. This is where I can demystify the mystery of your existence. All the insecurity, all the self-sabotage, all the frustration, all the low self-worth, all the pain, all the addiction issues, all the negativity you're experiencing, right? I can guide you through the process that's going to allow you to release this, to heal this once and for all. But all I'm going to be is the training wheels to get you back upright. Because right now you ain't even riding the bike. You're just fucking sitting there sideways, freaking crashed, wondering when someone's going to come and save you. And it's like, no, man, get up, dust off, and keep going. Or start going if you haven't been going. It's not really that difficult, but it is, because it's going to cause you to have to challenge all your beliefs. I talked about this earlier. It's going to cause you to challenge everything you believe. And if you're not willing to, you think you know it all. I used to think I know it all. This dude right here, man, right there he is. That dude thought he knew it all. And if I go back even farther, that guy thought he even knew it all, man. The 18-year-old, 16-year-old version of me, he thought he fucking knew it all. I promise you, that kid didn't know shit. And that's even in me today. This is called the lifelong learner, and this is where so many of you struggle. And I believe that that is also tied to your childhood, that you were so resistant by the forceful modality of how we teach education that you felt forced, you felt resistance, you weren't really open to it, you didn't really like it. And I get all the reasons why that is, because I've been in education. That you shut down when you turned 18, when you either barely got through it or dropped out and gave up on it. You literally said, I'm done learning, man. Fuck that shit. And you meant that. I'm an adult now. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. And it's like, uh-oh, you already know. You already know, again, if you're willing to change your mind and be honest with yourself, that life definitely taught you more than anything. That the lessons of life are way harder than any essay you ever had to write, or any report you had to do, any math problem, any math exam, algebra, geometry. Fuck, man. The lessons of life, adulting 101, shit. That's way, way, way more challenging. And yet here you are. But you're still resistant to learning. And it's wild how so many people are resistant to then doing what? Changing your mind about yourself, which is step one. It's going through the self-discovery, right? If you haven't done this yet, this is still free, right? Results Kill Excuses in your app store. Self-discovery, first 5 courses, right? If you want to purchase one of these workbooks, you're welcome to do that, but literally download the app. You've got to print out the worksheets and invest the time. And at least these are made fun, but these are challenging courses. These courses are challenging. right? If you ain't seen these, hurting people hurt themselves first, breaking up with my addictions. Yes, I'm holding myself back. Most of you are doing that. Making over my relationships. And I've got 99 problems and positive solutions for everyone. Each of those courses has 5 lessons with videos, downloadable worksheets, right? That are super fun and interactive. This ain't just like, just sitting there with a blank page. I mean, I've kind of made these pretty fun. Here's the holding myself back one, right? It's very visual. Identify one thing you really want to do, but you're scared to do, right? Identify one thing you really want to do, but you're scared to do. And then it's why. Why are you scared, right? This is facing yourself. This is investing in yourself. How long have you held this desire, right? To do something that you're afraid to do, right? Ooh, my whole life. What is the main reason you haven't tried it, right? So this is all about facing yourself. What is the worst thing that could happen if you actually did something you were scared to do? What is the likelihood that this thing would happen? This is all well thought out. This ain't AI shit. This is me literally sifting through and processing my 13 years healing of all different types into really getting through discovering what really matters. This is all by design. And this ain't even the master course. This is just the first 5 courses. And it's free. Just type in results kill excuses in your app store. Download the app. But again, are you going to really do the work, or is it going to be like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do the work. Don't do the work. If you don't do it this life, you could do it the next. But guess what? This motherfucker right here did the work. Look at that guy. 7 years ago, that guy did the work. And the thing about that guy is he was spiritual. He had worked on the spiritual health, and he had been sober for 6 years. So the mental health was coming in. The emotional and the physical hadn't happened yet. That transformation was still to come. And I got asked earlier, what was one of the triggering points? Well, it was they sometimes say another shoe falling was, I think 2 years after this video, I went through divorce, right? 21-year marriage. And that was another expansion of myself, another opportunity to really find the strength to say it's time to change my mind. Who am I? When I came out of divorce, that was the question that came up. Who am I? Who am I? And I realized I couldn't say, oh, I'm so-and-so's husband for 20 some years. I couldn't say that no more. So who was I? Oh, I was the worker. I was a veteran resource. I built a nationally award-winning veteran resource center. Or I was a veteran, what else could I say? Oh, I'm so-and-so's dad, I'm a this type of political party. Oh, I'm a this type of bandwagon team sports guy. It's like, dude, that's not who the fuck I am. None of that. None of that goes with us when we die at the soul level. What goes with you is, did you find your true self? Did you awaken your true self? Did you transcend the pain and suffering of this planet, the distractions, the things that truly don't matter? And the things that don't matter are the things that don't last eternity. You gave yourself an assignment in this incarnation. If that makes sense to you, you're in the right place and you need to stay locked in. If that alone makes sense to you, you gave yourself an assignment. What is your assignment? To experience all the things that you experienced that caused you great emotional, mental, physical, spiritual harm. You assigned yourself these experiences. You cannot sit there and say, oh no, this is just by chance and I was a victim and it's just this one thing. You can say that. And if that's your belief, then I'm not here to change your mind. I guarantee you though, your life experiences will change your mind. That if you stay distracted, you think it's all about party and revelry and cheering on other people and, acting like high school lives forever, where it's all about who has the most friends, who gets the most likes and all this bullshit. But it's never really about what are you doing with your real life? How are you contributing? How are you becoming a better version of yourself? Doing the same shit you were doing as a kid in high school, and now you're continuing doing it throughout the rest of your life, which is really just wasting your fucking time and energy. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Adam. Yeah, here's somebody that's jumped on that 1%. I mean, that's another round in the chamber too, man. This 1% better everyday journal. I'm pretty sure the link's down below. If you're looking for self accountability, 91 days, this volume 1, right? I don't just come here to entertain people. I come here to help transform your life by transforming mine. I'm continuing to transform just because I can show this kind of contrast today, right? 7 years, man. There he is. There he is. And one of the things that's hard for us is I look at that guy and I love him. I love hearing him. Do you want to hear this guy? Do you guys want to hear him? Let's hear what he says. Lindell, Romero Worth, Abate. Let me play. Hey, Santa Fe. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday, great week. I just want to come up here to Atalaya to close out the vlog series for the campaign. I'm someone that truly believes that perspective changes all things. And I want to give a shout out to our newly elected governing body, starting with the top, Mayor Alan Weber. Congratulations. Councilors Lindell, Romero Worth, Abeta, and Vigil Koppler. I know you all together are going to do great things for the community that I'm overlooking right now. And perspective does everything, because from up here, I can't tell who is the winners and who are the losers. I can't tell who has the power and who doesn't. I can't tell skin color or gender orientation. You can't tell any of that from here. You see a community, you see people, and you know that there's life that exists down here. And so I'm grateful to be up here today. I did want to give a shout out. Today's my mother's. That's true transformation. And it's not always easy to look at yourself. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to be ashamed, right? That I let myself go like that, but it's okay. I love that guy. I can look at that guy and say, man, I love you. I wouldn't be here without him. And there's a lot of you that you're literally, you hate yourself. Not only do you hate the politicians and do you hate the teams that aren't your team, and do you hate, the social issues that are against your social issues, or do you hate the billionaires or the successful people, or you hate the this or you hate the that? All of that is a true reflection that you hate yourself. Do you realize this? That you absolutely hate yourself underneath the surface. And the transformation is you going back. That's why it's so important to go back into I call it the time machine. You go in the time machine, we take a look at all of the significant, impactful events throughout your life, the good and the bad. I read this shit the other day. I'm going to do it right now. I did this exercise the other day for myself because I'm going through a workshop and they wanted us to capture the significant events. And so there's a disclaimer here, like, some of this shit, this is real talk on me. Look, Gregory's history exercise, 0 to 10 years old. I'm going to read this. This is like fucking unedited. And this is what people need to do. And you don't do it with judgment. And I mean, again, you're going to probably want to feel some shame, of course. But you have to be able to see yourself. The only way you can change something is when you fully see it for what it is, to understand it. And the thing that so many of us think, oh, I'm not a kid no more. How does that have anything to do with my fucking adult life? That kid can't pay my bills. Okay. Just keep that kid inside of you in the corner, alone, afraid, ashamed, sad, right? Feeling burdened by everything that it experienced. Here's the real talk. And I appreciate all of you that are tuned into this. Straight up exercise from 0 to 10. then go from 10 to 20, and then 20 to your present age. Every pivotal moment that ever happened to you, positive or negative, major life decisions and relationships. So for me, early on, exposure to physical, mental abuse with mother and father, rollover car crash, father pulled a gun on mom, attempted kidnapping, started public school in second grade, bullied at school. I used to get an early head start to fucking run up. No lies. Like I would get bullied by these two twins walking home from school, and it was like latchkey days. Those motherfuckers would jump my ass. That the school had to let me get a head start, like 10 minutes, man, every day. It's so fucking embarrassing. I got to get back at those guys in a funny way later on in life. It was cool. Latchkey kid, first fights. I had sexual predator babysitters, learning how to ski, learning how to ride a bike. I had a significant injury where I fell down and busted my knee pretty bad. And the thing why that was a significant thing is my knee is literally busted open, and like my mom didn't really have the means to take me to the doctor. So it's like I couldn't even get it fucking repaired. Bit in the face by a dog playing baseball. I was a home run kid. First exposure to porn. Again, 0 to 10 years old here. First time feeling something wrong with watching sexual content, like feeling dirty. I remember kind of like as a little kid, anytime like there was these old movies like where there was just a lot like Nerds and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where there's just like, my first exposure to sex, where you felt like as a little kid, you weren't supposed to be watching it, but you would like peek and watch it. And it just, I don't know. It's just something that came up with me. First girlfriend and kiss. I lost my virginity, lost virginity at 13. First time getting drunk, binge use of alcohol on weekends, major sports ending injury, major fight with the girlfriend. Again, that was between 10 and 7 and 20. First use of marijuana, first use of psychedelics, mainly mushrooms and acid and ecstasy. I was expelled from school, joining the Navy. How many of y'all got the fucking courage to not only write that down, but put it out there to the world, man? Like to actually go in your time capsule and figure out what the fuck you've experienced, because that is the shit that is in that. It's not over. In that, it's not over. The next part of this, because you got to go through your whole life. The next part of it is you have to figure out which of those experiences cause you pain when you think about it. Because then that is where we have to go on a deeper dive to work on clearing out that energy, healing those wounds. And you can't take a negative into a positive. You take a negative and you create it into a neutral. And the only way that is done, that is a spiritual practice, not a religious practice. We don't just say a prayer and make it go away, but we do channel and do a forgiveness where it's an energetic thing, where it's like you have to really be able to wrap your head around. An example would be if you were someone that was sexually abused as a child. That's painful. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to be insensitive towards the pain and what you experienced. But here's what you need to know. I can guarantee you that the person that sexually abused you, guess what? They were sexually abused. Because unless your story is that the person that did that to you, that they lived the happiest life, they lived such a healthy life, they had loving parents, they had a great upbringing, nothing ever bad happened to them, and then something happened that they just said, I want to do some sexual weird shit to somebody else. That's not how it works. This person that hurt you had the same shit, if not worse, happen to them. Guaranteed. And then guess what? The person that did it to them, here we go. The person that did it to them had it did to them. The person that did it to them had it do it to them. And then here's you, And maybe you didn't pass on the sexual abuse, but maybe you did. Maybe you, instead of being a sexual abuser, maybe you put sexual energy out there so that you could attract more sexual abusers or people that would just use you for that sexual energy that you possessed. Thus, you continue to do what? Hurting people hurt themselves. That's a part of the self-discovery work. That's why this is the first lesson right here. Hurting people hurt themselves first. And then we share it with someone else. And that's been the whole thing. Like when it comes to forgiveness is such a barrier for people, man. Such a barrier. And y'all think you're peaceful, loving, kind people. And it's like, if you got hate in your heart about anything or anyone, you are not in a spirit of forgiveness. You are not in a spirit of love. You are not in a spirit of joy. You are not in a spirit of peace. You are not in a spirit of light. You are in a spirit of fear, of anger, of hatred, of pride. And this is all shown through the vibrational energetic chart. But yet everybody thinks that somehow because somebody's a politician now, that you have a free pass to be filled with hatred. The silliest tagline, the most toxic tagline I've ever heard is, and I remember the first time I saw it was probably, I felt like it was 2016, was the resist. The resist bumper sticker. It's like somebody has a resist bumper sticker and you're like, first off, I'm driving by this person and they're like maybe 100 pounds. I'm like, man, you ain't going to resist shit, not physically. So if you can't resist it physically, that means you're going to resist it energetically, which is going to drain the fuck out of you, because resistance is an absolute toxic energy that wants to hold you back and manipulate you. It doesn't want you to fulfill your purpose in life. And so for us to be proud about saying we're resistant to something, it's like, no, man, you need to surrender. Surrender is the biggest flex. And if you need help with finding the strength to surrender, you should reach out to me. Right? For one-on-one coaching. Because even though you got to do the work on your own, you don't got to do it alone. And it brings me the greatest joy to be able to help people to heal, to become the greatest version of themselves, to not have to worry about resisting things, to overcome resistance by surrendering, by fully aligning with your highest purpose, with your divine birthright, which is not religious talk. It's energetic talk. You are totally free. If you are filled with any level of anger and hatred and fear, you're suffering right now. And my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you because you're suffering. Right? You're being manipulated. You're emotionally being manipulated. And the cool thing is you can set yourself free. You can absolutely overcome it. Again, where's that guy? Hey, Santa Fe. True transformation right there, 7 years ago. That's real transformation. Right? And it's just external. You just see the external. Oh, wow. So you grew your hair long and you lost weight. Oh, no, man. I've already said mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, and financial health, right? Those are the 4 areas that I believe give you total and complete health. If you're lacking in one of those areas, you're super overweight, you're emotionally manipulated, right? But you feel like you're sober, right? If you're not sober, if you're using any kind of chemicals on a regular basis, you throw the mental health out of the thing. There's no mental health there. The only way you get mental health is by getting sober. You have to have a sober, clear mind. You need to have clarity in your mind. And the only way you have clarity is when you're not infusing external chemicals into your body that distorts your mental state of being, that distorts your sense of reality. Now, I am somebody that is open to certain type of sacred medicines. They could be plant medicines, but those are like a ritual thing that's like a one-time use. It's like I use it. Okay, I'm gonna try maybe some psilocybin on a micro dose, and then today or tomorrow in a ceremonial way, and then it's not like you're using it every fucking day. I did this. You could probably see those marks on my shoulder. I did what's called combo, right? It's this Amazonian tree frog excretion that literally you do a purging. And I've done 2 ceremonies and I have a third one coming up this week. And it's like, but I'm not going to be doing that all the time. I asked the woman that was um, the shaman that led me through that process, like, what's the most effective way? She says, do it 3 times in 30 days, do 3 ceremonies in 30 days, and you're good. Like, that's where you'll get the most effect. It's not like, hey, we're going to do this every day, every week. When you are infusing chemicals, you're chemically dependent. Well, why are you chemically dependent? Because you can't handle your emotional discomfort. I think I saw something just the other day that alcohol usage, especially from like Gen X through millennia, through boomers, the younger generation, they're not really getting on the alcohol bandwagon. But those of you that are my age, Gen X, let's just call it like 40 and beyond, fuck, man, alcohol use is going through the roof because you're all stressed the fuck out. You're all emotionally manipulated. You're so focused on what? Everything that's happening outside of your body. And you need relief, and you need fast relief, and you're hoping that something changes. You want to just wish. I saw the first instant. It's like change the clock forward 4 years, and then somehow you feel so much better. And it's like, dude, like that's not going to change what's going on inside of you. It's never going to be enough. When you start to look for answers outside of yourself, whether it's religion, whether it's chemical dependency, whether it's some kind of fulfillment as to your team wins a big game or a political person wins the big race, it's never going to be enough. Making more money, it's never going to be enough. Getting a new car, it's never going to be enough. Getting your hair did, never going to be enough. Spa day, never going to be enough. Working out, never going to be enough. Eating healthy, never going to be enough. Not until you work on the mental, the emotional, the spiritual things, which is really mental first, emotional comes second. There is a hierarchy to this thing, to the game called, it's transformation. And there's no quick fixes here. It literally becomes your way of life because when you start to spiritually awaken, like everything that you have been manipulated by, politics, sports, entertainment, social issues, geopolitical issues, climate issues, it's like none of it matters, man. Like you're okay with what is in front of you, being the best version of yourself, being a high vibrational human being on this planet, sending out positive vibrations to all living things throughout the whole entire universe, not just to your political party, not just to your favorite team, not just to your family, not to the people that say they love you, but to everyone. Right? That's how you change this world. That's how you really contribute. That is how you fulfill your soul's contract on this planet. Not saying, oh man, my team won or our political party kicked ass. And it's like, you've never run for politics. Uh, you've never cashed a check from a professional sports team. Right. And yet you're wondering why. It's just never going to be enough. So if you're really ready, right? I don't just come here for entertainment purposes. Download the Results Kill Excuses app. Support the brand. Get yourself a hat, get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, right? If you really want something that's going to help to create some greater self-accountability, right here, the 1% Better Everyday Journal. It's 91 days of self-accountability. Yeah, Kava's nice. It's real mellow. I'm seeing that. But the link is down below. And it's just like this stuff is an investment in you. These resources, all the courses on the app are free of charge. But there's literally over 5 weeks worth of real in-depth looking in the mirror, which is really looking inside, self-discovery work, that you're gonna have excuses saying, I don't know if I have time for that. It's like journaling every single day, right? Journaling every single day will actually save you time, even if it takes you an hour first thing in your morning. What? How's that going to save me time? I don't got an hour. Well, that's because you're staying up too late and you're not getting up early. I'm not a morning person. Why don't you add yet? Why don't you become what you think you're not? Why don't you truly set yourself free? Why don't you become somebody that says, I don't just need to be religious and stop eating bad things or drinking certain things or ingesting certain things for a season because my religion says that's the right thing to do? Why don't you truly just set yourself free and say you don't need those things once you heal the emotional wounds that are rooted in your childhood? Once you heal that, it's like you no longer have this sense of discomfort in your own body that you're constantly having to run to something else to take you to a place of pleasure that only lasts for this long. It doesn't last. As I see 111. I wish I could do it fast for all of you that are here. I wish I could do it fast for all of you. I wish I could give you what I have. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I am giving you what I have. And y'all don't even realize what I have. One more time. When I was just a little guy, one of the things I've heard this said before. Here's a picture of me and a buddy of mine. Right? There's that little guy. That's me. Look at that little guy. He looks pretty happy right there, playing with snakes in the forest. Right? That's some shit I'm doing right now. You know, there he is at like fucking 8 years old. Here I am right now. I'll probably go take that picture this spring. I'm gonna go catch a snake and I'm gonna get me a blue shirt like that, and I'm gonna take a big picture with a big ass smile like that. But see, the thing is he was happy in that moment. He had one of his buddies with him. He was out camping, out in nature. Right? This is stuff I love to do. Guess what? The gift I've given myself throughout my healing journey, the way that I stay sober, the way that I'm living life at the fullest, is I'm doing the things that I love to do. I don't love to sit around and watch other people work and call it sports and entertainment. Like, I want to go out there and like interact with nature and fucking put my body through physical challenges, whether it's climbing a mountain or jumping in a cold river or getting in some hot springs, like truly loving myself and taking care of myself and connecting with nature. It's something I've always loved. And there's something inside of you that you've always loved that you stopped doing because you told yourself at some point in your life, I'm an adult. I don't got time for the kid shit no more. I'm telling you, if you don't think you got time for the kid shit, you're going to grow fast and you're also going to get really unhealthy. And eventually you're going to be in a position you don't want to be in, which is going to be literally probably immobilized. It's sad when I see people that have put themselves through hell, right? Because of all the chemicals. They've put themselves through hell. And guess what? Some of y'all look like it. You can't hide it. Your eyes, man, the eyes, the face, the body, it's your calling card. It tells your story. It tells your story. And that's why most of you won't look in the mirror. But the thing that I gave this guy, look at that guy. He's so cute. I love him so much. I love that guy so much. I love that guy so much, and I love the guy in the video 7 years ago. But here's the thing that I've given that little boy, right? I gave him what he never had. What did he never have? He never had me, this man, this father figure, this parent in his life. And guess what? This is what you need to give yourself. It's all about reparenting ourselves. It's about giving our inner child the greatest parent, super dad, super mom that they never had. And here's where I'm saying I'm giving you what I gave myself, because I now show up for people in a way that I never had someone show up for me. I'm now giving you guys the best. The best. If you've listened to any portion of this stream, you have gotten the best of who I am. The best. This is a man that I could have only dreamed of being in my life when I was this age, when I was the little guy, when I was that age. Fuck. You talk about regret. You talk about wishing. There was a lot of days, man, I had to sit there and wish that I could have had a man like me for that little boy. Things would have been way different. But I can't sit there and dwell on that. I have to sit here and say, I can still connect with that little boy. It's not all lost. See, that's the thing. So many of you are grieving that you're not young, you're not youthful anymore. And it's because you fucking have put yourself through hell. You've literally mistreated yourself. You've literally abused yourself as a result of probably going through sexual, mental, emotional, and childhood abuse when you were a kid. You have literally abused yourself and called it having fun, called it being social. This country is so crazy, man. This world is so crazy. We literally say that we literally have written a story that poisoning ourselves is an acceptable means of having fun. And I'm not over here criticizing, man. I was the poster child for that. I was the poster child. I don't know if I could pull up that picture. I found this other picture the other day. The drunk motherfucker, man. I was the drinking king from the earliest age. Like when I was a kid, man, it was all about the beer bongs. And I found a picture of me the other day slamming a fucking beer bong. And I'm like, God dang, man. That thing was like a gallon or something. And I was the best at it. I was the best. Not the worst. I was literally the best at partying. And I put myself through so much shit. So many regrettable things. And a lot of that I contribute to the fact that I didn't have a positive male role model in my life. I'm not sure if I saved that picture. It's good to be going down memory lane a little bit. I hope that this message is connecting with you guys. But not only that you're hearing the message, that it's stimulating, a desire to know that if I can do it, you can do it, man. I used to be the biggest alcoholic. I used to wake and fucking get baked all day and baked all night and crash out and do it again. Every day. As I just saw 333. I used to be the biggest sports fanatic, right? Going to live games, spending treasure troves of money on sports and entertainment. And greater than that was just the time investment. And I have nothing to show for it, man. Does it matter that I was at World Series games and fucking playoff games and, history, record-setting games? Like, does any of that fucking matter? None of it matters. I was there. I was live at these games. None of it fucking matters right now, man. It doesn't contribute to my overall fucking life. Zero. And if you wake up, if you're honest with yourself, it contributes nothing to your life either. But yet you're bored. There's the problem. I'm bored. I don't know what to do. Download the Results Kill Excuses app. Fucking make an unbreakable commitment, non-negotiable with yourself to do every single one of the first 5 courses. But the thing is you'll start on this and you'll hit a roadblock. You'll hit a roadblock with the first 5 courses because you're going to be like, fuck, I had a guy hit me up. He said, man, I'm going to do it. He's, I want to do it. He was an old friend, a guy I grew up with. And I said, dude, cool, man. Like, I would really appreciate you doing it. And so I sent him a book and he started it. He's like, man, this is really private stuff. And I know he never finished. I know he never had the balls to do it. He couldn't find the fucking courage to face himself. So then he probably just defaulted to the easy fix, the less intrusive, the less invasive, the thing that gives you a good feeling, but then it also lets you off the hook. You can live a double life. That's the truth of it. Just admit it. Y'all want to live double lives. And what that really means when I say a double life, that you live a shadow life. And that shadow life is the lower self, the guilt, the shame, the anger, the fear, the things that you don't want to be seen. You don't want to see that about yourself. So you're trying to act as if you're full of love and joy and peace, but you really have fucking hatred and anger and rage about everything in your life. You're not fulfilled. You're unsettled. You're uneasy about who you are. But y'all won't do this work. But the thing is that whether one of you does the work or none of you do the work today, I know that I'm doing the work and I have the receipts. And I know that I'm not alone. And I know that this message is not popular. Why? Because I'm not entertaining you. I'm not telling you funny jokes. I'm not, telling you what you want to hear. That it's okay. You're good. You're doing your best. I really struggle with that. Like, I need to be more, I know that there's a part of me, a big area of growth where I need to be more compassionate. But I also know there's an area where I've grown. I've gone through so much healing that I have a hard time validating people's bullshit. I mean, it really is a struggle. I really do struggle validating your limiting beliefs and the lies you tell yourself about yourself, because I'm just the veil's lifted. I see what's really going on, and I can help you condense the time. It's not going to take you 13 years to really get some self-mastery, right? Self-discovery is step 1. Self-discovery. Step 2 is self-improvement. Because once you kind of can see, you're going to be honest with yourself and start seeing what's really going on, then you got to start making improvements. And once you make improvements, then you have to develop those improvements out more. Right? You have to really start developing it. You start making improvements, then you start to develop. You start to build on those improvements you've made. But you want the double life. And the double life gives you the freedom to get fucked up and party on the weekend, give up all your good time because you're already working hard and you have nothing to show for it. But then you also want to like check one box and feel good about yourself, or, post a political thing that makes you feel like you have moral superiority or that you're a virtuous person. And it's just like, you're not, man, you're not. It's not about that. These things are just there to distract you and manipulate your emotions, which is usually based in fear and hatred. And once you get past self-development, then you start getting to self-awareness, becoming more aware of who you truly are. Then you get to self-mastery. And self-mastery just means that you trust yourself. You know yourself, you trust yourself, you believe in yourself. Those are beautiful things, right? You trust yourself, you believe in yourself, you love yourself, you take care of yourself, like genuinely taking fucking care of yourself. That when you have a choice between, eating a really unhealthy meal or eating, and kind of saying, you know what, that's not going to line up with my long-term goals, with the version I want to become. I'm going to go ahead and say no to that, right? Which is sacrificing something in the now for something greater in the future. That's when you know you have self-mastery, is when you can really be able to be like, nope, I'm not going to sabotage myself. I don't do that anymore. I've left that behind. And that doesn't mean you're perfect. There are times, right? And then you reflect on it and you get back on it. But there needs to be a level of commitment that's based on an extended period of time that you're truly locked in and you're free from the distractions that are occupying a lot of time in your head, a lot of time in your body, a lot of your energy. And it's precious time, man. We think we got time. We think we're going to live forever. And you do in the soul level. But, it's kind of like you were put on this planet to truly transcend the suffering of this world. And yet there is an awakening happening. And I know the people that have been tuned in here today and are listening to this, it's time to respond. It's time to respond greater than ever before. Because here's the thing, if you do respond, you will reap the benefits exponentially. Like the time collapses and the alignments will really start to fucking play in your favor, because it's no longer a mystery. You don't have to go through a forest without a flashlight and a map in the middle of a fucking new moon night and try and find your way out. The light is being shined in your eyes right now. There is a path forward. And if this message is resonating, is connecting with you, it's giving you pause to say, what if this guy is right? What if I do need to really take this next leap of faith? Right. Well, what do you do next? For me, I had to hit rock bottom. I had to hit the rock bottom 13 years ago in order to truly. I appreciate you truly being here, brother. I had to hit the rock bottom. And trust me, the sad thing is I have helped temporarily because they were only half-heartedly wanting help. I have temporarily helped many, many, many people, like hundreds upon hundreds of people. I've temporarily helped hundreds of people because they came in it with a half-hearted mindset that they just wanted relief. They didn't want transformation. They wanted what they thought was a sense of relief, because they, just like when you're so stressed out and you need alcohol or you need something else, whatever your thing is, you need sex, you need food, you need alcohol, you need drugs, you need cigarettes, whatever you need, man, gaming, gambling, sports, entertainment, whatever you need to just give you a little bit of relief. I have helped hundreds of people temporarily because all they wanted was relief. They didn't want transformation. And the minute they sensed this tiny bit of relief from the pain that they were going through, which was, I'm talking about total life upheaval. I'm talking about chaos happening in someone's life. Guess what? They pulled up. They gave up. They didn't want total transformation. They weren't willing to go on a 7-year journey. 7 years ago, there's transformation, man. And it's not just the haircut or the lack thereof. It's not just the weight loss. Because as I said, this guy right here, 7 years ago, that dude right there was getting a lot more mentally healthy. Why? Because 7 years ago would have put me at 6 years of sobriety. So my mind was pretty clear. My emotions, nope, I hadn't touched the emotional healing yet. I hadn't done the heavy emotional lifting, facing myself, as I see 144. And I was also very spiritually healthy then. But I wasn't physically. I was missing the physical and I was missing the emotional. And I can guarantee you, you're missing either all of those or most of those, if you're honest with yourself. And here at Results Kill Excuses, there's no quick fixes. This is a way of life. And this is absolutely the total and complete version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Mental health, which is it starts and ends with sobriety. If you're not wanting to be free from chemical dependency, then this ain't for you. Transformation isn't what you're really wanting. I literally do not trust people that say they're light workers or spiritual gurus or religious people that still drink and add and do drugs and add chemicals, whether they're illegal or illegal or whatever. If you are allowing your mind to be distorted, you lack clarity. You lack clarity, and I will not trust that person in totality with my spiritual practices. There's going to be a question mark in my heart saying, I don't know, man. If you're still needing those chemicals, you've missed something. And even with me, so many people get uncomfortable saying, well, dude, you had a problem with alcohol. Fuck yeah, I had a problem. But see, the alcohol wasn't the problem. I was the problem. I was the person with the unhealed emotional wounds that used alcohol as a coping mechanism to numb my pain and allow me to feel more pleasure in life. And once I healed my emotional wounds for real by going in the time machine, chalking up the history of what really happened to me, and then understanding how that is still playing itself out now in the present, 30 years later, was I able to truly heal. That's true transformation. But if y'all just are coming in it half-hearted, and that's what most people want, we want it now. We want the quick fix. We don't want to have to really make major sacrifices because we're afraid. It's all based in fear. It's all fear-based. If you get honest with yourself, you're just afraid. What are you afraid of? As I saw 444, you're afraid of becoming the best version of yourself. And that's like so sad, right? Because you're like, why would I be afraid to be the best version of myself? Well, the thing is we just are, because you're too attached. The reason why you're afraid of being the best version of yourself, the highest version of yourself, the divine aligned version of yourself, is because you are so attached mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You are attached energetically to your physical existence, which is disposable. It's temporary. This is a temporary experience. And yet you have forgotten your true self. It always circles back to this. Who is your true self? Are you just the person on your government issued ID and your birth certificate? That's who you are. That's like in the grand scheme of all eternity, of the entire existence of all things. Are you saying that all you are is this tiny little grain of sand that lasts like a fucking microsecond in terms of all eternity? That's all you are? Okay, good for you. I know I'm more, and I went on that journey, and that journey has led me here. And that's why I speak with such clarity, because if this is resonating with you, then you also know this is truth. It's hitting me at a deeper level. I'm not being entertained. I'm not being told the things that my insecurities need to hear. This motherfucker is coming direct, straight to the point, cutting through all the bullshit, right? Going straight to the spirit, saying, there's the answer. There is your problem. You are your own problem, not someone else. A billionaire is not your problem. A politician is not your problem. Your team winning isn't your problem. Drugs and alcohol aren't your problem. You are your problem. And that means that you can also change yourself, which, you guessed it, it's in the self-discovery work on the app. One of the courses is called I've Got 99 Problems. And guess what? You have positive solutions for every one of your problems. But it takes courage to really grab a hold of that. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength to really grab a hold of the fact that you absolutely have solutions to any problem in your life right now, right here, right now. There is nothing that you cannot overcome. And I'm a believer that it is through overcoming and facing the things that make you the most afraid, right, that sets you the most free. It's what gives you the greatest transformational experiences. But the more that you shrink, the more that you play afraid, the more that you go small and avoid, guess what? You become smaller. And that's a sad thing because you're meant to expand. But that is in the vibrational chart. The lower half is contraction. The more smaller you get, the more avoidant you get, the more hateful you get, the more angry you get, the more apathetic you get. You're contracting when you're meant to expand. You are meant to be like a light and a voice that reverberates throughout the world, throughout the cosmos, man. That's the power of your life. That's the power of your existence. I think this has been a pretty solid talk. I think those of you that have been with me, I'm still trying to find this picture with me with the beer bong. It's the funniest thing, man. I kind of want to be all proud. Man, I was the baddest fucking beer bonger drinker ever. Nobody took me out. I was the champion of beer bonging, man. The biggest beer bong I ever took is like a 54-ounce Mickey's, even like malt liquor. Fuck, bro. Ugh. I took it all down, every drop, and then bleh. Yeah, open the workbook, man. Again, the work is there for you, man. Whether you're gonna do the work or not, like there's a gazillion things that want to distract you. There's a gazillion things that want to kill you. Are you willing to kill the excuses though? That's the whole premise. Where do you think this mantra came from? I was the biggest motherfucker with excuses. I had an excuse for everything. And then I even tried to get so wordsmithy that I would say, it's not that I have an excuse. I actually have a valid reason. I changed excuse to reason to get myself off the hook to do the things I know I needed to do. That's where this mantra came from. And it's interchangeable. Results kill excuses. Excuses will kill your results. Which do you want, man? You gonna just let the work sit there? It ain't gonna do it for itself. The work ain't gonna do itself, man. Y'all gotta do the work. The cool thing is, when I started going through my journey, I felt like I had to do it all alone. And you don't. You don't have to do it alone. There's now a community here of people that are stepping up, that are putting in the work, that want to become the best version of themselves, that want to build themselves up and build up others, not tear each other down. How refreshing is that? Shit, dude, that's so refreshing. It's a beautiful thing. Things are changing. With humans, some of us, we're so stubborn. It's going to take some of y'all, it's going to take the bottom dropping out. It's going to take a total upheaval in your life because you're too stubborn. You're acting complacent. You're saving it for tomorrow. You're saving the work for next year, next month, next week. And it's like, dude, you got to grab a hold of this shit now. This is the purpose. When I'm sitting there doing my morning breath work, which has been so transformational for me, I get to a place where I'm just so blissed out. I'm so blissed out. Like unlike any kind of like substance high, like any kind of weed or ecstasy or mushrooms, anything. Just so blissed out, man. Just so conscientious, so present, feeling connected to every single living thing in the whole entire freaking cosmos. And it's just in that moment, you're just like, there's nothing more that matters. Like, I don't know what time it is. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this or that. All those thoughts, everything. You're just present, which I think is why we call it that, because it's a gift to be present. And most of y'all can't be present. Most of y'all are so externalized, disassociated with what's really going on in your body. To just be present. What a beautiful thing. That's a gift to give yourself. Let's see. I think we're about to wrap it up. I think we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody for tuning in today, being a part of this channel, all the support. I really do appreciate everyone that takes time to comment, whether it's on this live stream or commenting when I put out the videos. I'm going through a transformation. I think some of y'all probably are hearing that in my voice. I know I hear it. I was listening to the video 7 years ago. I probably should listen to a video 3 years ago. I was angry 3 years ago. I was fucking angry, man. I was so angry. Yeah, I was really angry. I was really mad at myself. Yeah, I was heartbroken. I was angry. It felt like just a failure. I thought I was never going to break through. And that's where the emotional heavy lifting started to take root. Was saying, I gotta, there's more work to be done. I gotta heal this. And the times that we see it is usually in relationships. That's where you're going to see who you really are. If you're in a very conflicted, chaotic, unhealthy, toxic relationship, I'm talking about romantic, it's a mirror. You're looking in a mirror, right? You want to say they're the narcissist, and yet, they wouldn't be the narcissist if it wasn't in you, right? If that energy isn't in you, if you're not also needing that energy to feel a sense of normalcy, which all comes from your childhood. There's something there in terms of a controlling type of figure in your life that you felt that you didn't have control. You felt like you need, and that's the problem. That's the dysfunction in so many relationships, is when we say we fall in love, a lot of people are looking to find mommy and daddy in their lover. And that's it's unhealthy. It's not meant to be that way. You need to find someone to love you for the healed man that you are, the true divine masculine. And women, you need to find, and women, you need to be able to find someone that loves you for the divine feminine you are, so that there's this healed state where you're not looking to find mommy and daddy, someone that has to like take care of you and comfort you and meet all your needs, because you still want to be this childlike version of yourself, which then goes to support everything I'm talking about, that you have a wounded child inside of you that needs to be reparented and healed. It doesn't happen because you grew up. It doesn't happen because 50 years have gone by. You have to go back in there and heal this child, rescue your inner child, and then love them, nurture them, take care of them. And that does not happen just by time. It literally is an intentional process. And if you're looking for help, it's right there, greg@resultskillexcuses.com. Reach out to me. I would love to be able to help you. And with that being said, I love you guys. I hope that you'll continue giving yourself permission to change your mind. You might have changed your time, but can you really change your mind? That's going to be the greatest gift you can give yourself. I had to let go of everything, literally let go of everything, mentally, emotionally, all my beliefs, all my possessions, just energetically. This is all energy. You let go, man, you let go. And in doing that, the things that are no longer for you, they fade away. And the things that are for you, guess what? They circle back, and they come back even multiplied, which is beautiful. Things that fall away come back multiplied. I love you guys. Go have an amazing day. Go connect with nature, man. I'm telling you, look at that little guy. Look at that little guy right there. Here's the evidence that what I'm saying is what you should be doing. What brought you joy when you're a little kid? There's me, play with a little snake. You could tell a little boy's a happy little guy. He's so happy. Guess what? I'm going to go play out in nature. Maybe I'll find a snake. We shall see. What can you do today that can reinvigorate the connection between you and your inner child. What were the things that you loved to do when you were a kid? You're not too old. Go do them. Go do them. Maybe not do them at the extreme, but just start to do these things. Maybe it was drawing. Maybe it was coloring. Maybe it was reading a book. Maybe it was roller skating, whatever it was. I saw a guy recently, 50 years old, that had given up skateboarding, like hardcore skateboarding in like the fucking, the little pit, like the pool. And he sucked for like the first 3 months. But it's like he stuck with it and he tapped into it. And now this fucking guy's at the skate park tearing it up, 50 plus years old, man. He gave himself permission. He's got all the safety gear on, but he's playing with his little kid again. He's giving the little inner child life again to say, man, I'm here now. Super dad's here. I love you. And it's like, you would much rather, you think your little kid just wants to sit around and watch other dudes play. No, that kid wants to go out there and play. Go play. If you're in a partner, if you're in a relationship, go take your lover on a play date. Go on a play date. And you can figure out what that play date looks like. But it should be outside your home. It should be outside somewhere. Go play, go jump in a river, go ride a bike, go fucking dig in the dirt, go whatever it is, man. Go on a play date. You'll feel so much better doing that than what? Sitting around worrying about the news, worrying about the global issues, politics. Disconnect from that, man. You want to give yourself a gift, disconnect from that forever. I know that's probably asking way too much, but at least do it in increments by loving yourself, by finding this little guy inside of you. Go find that little guy. Play with a snake. How happy? That little kid's so happy, dude. Big ass fucking snake. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth